Alright, what's up, guys? This is gonna be the third time I'm shooting this, but I think this time is gonna be the one. This is gonna be the one, you feel me? So, this is Thoughts on the Lake, Volume 1. Right now I'm on Tempe Town Lake, and it's pretty nice out. It's like 100 degrees outside, so I mean, it's as nice as 100 degrees is gonna get, I guess you could say, but Thoughts on a Lake is really going to be a place where I can express just different thoughts that I have and see if I can open up a forum where we can talk about certain things that maybe we don't get to talk about a lot of the times, or a lot of things that I just personally would like to have more insight on as far as anything. Right now is going to definitely be what we're talking about today on Thoughts on the Lake is going to be geared towards some insight, and I just wanted to open up a forum where I could talk about it and see if I can get some other opinions on it. Is just, why is it as a black people we I don't want to say we leave each other behind. I would like to say that, why is it that the black middle class is so separated and so spread out, and between the black middle class and the black upper middle class, as far as we don't necessarily live together. A lot of the places where you have the most amount of black people, in places like Chicago and Compton and Baltimore and places like that, which are amazing historical cities that a lot of good things are happening there still, but you see a lot of us living in a good amount of poverty in those areas, and a lot of the time you don't really see a lot of us who, I'm not going to say a lot of us as in me, but a lot of us as in black people. A lot of the times when we live in certain areas like that, whenever we bring ourselves or come out of the impoverished situation, a lot of the times we don't reinvest our investments back into that type of community, so it could make it easier, or I don't know. And then I don't want to be damning, as if I'm questioning, like trying to tell people what to do with their money. If you are successful and you have the means to, and you got yourself to that place, you have every right not to reinvest it into that community. You can reinvest your money or invest your money in whatever you want to do. I guess my question is, why do we not reinvest into those communities? Why in general, like in Arizona, a lot of black people just don't live by each other. There are just black people all over Arizona, but we're so spread out, and I know Arizona is not the only place like that, where there's no large accumulation of black people and a large accumulation of black culture in one area, where we're all living together in cultural harmony, I guess you could say. It's a lot of us, we're spread out, and if we can afford to not live by, if we can afford to live in certain areas that may or may not necessarily like us living there, we'll live there in spite of those challenges, and instead of I guess creating our own community and creating our own hub, as you can say. And I just really want to know why that's so prevalent in the black community, especially with things like the things that are going on right now with the different killings of black people by people who are supposed to be authority, peace officers, and things of that nature. It's hard to fathom why we see these things happening over and over again, and we don't necessarily want to come together as a community to where we're the ones who are in charge of who's supposed to be protecting us, and we are in charge of different things like that. A lot of the times we're so spread out, we don't really have a voting right. We're outvoted. We really don't have we don't allow ourselves to have a voice in our own communities because of the circumstances. In my opinion, that's just the way that I view that. So I guess my biggest question is, like, what can we do to change that? How do we, as someone someone who wants to one day easily make six figures, or maybe not even have a set number of amount of money that I want to make, just be successful enough to be comfortable and be able to make solid business decisions to where I can affect the outcome of certain things inside of my own community. How do I, as a young black man, set myself up to where I can surround myself with other black people in the long run that are also as successful or more successful than I am? And not just at this point in time in my life right now, but sometime down the line when I'm thinking about purchasing property, or maybe, buying a business, or owning a business, or anything of that nature, because that is personally one of my goals, is to have my own business and own properties and things like that. And that's not everybody's goals, of course, but everyone has different goals, of course. But I just want to know, what are you guys' thoughts on how do we change the narrative in a way? How do we change the way, not necessarily other cultures view us, but how do we as a culture make it to where the way other cultures view us no longer matter, because we have our own communities to where we're thriving in our own communities, to where we don't necessarily need anyone's approval or anyone's thoughts or feelings on how we operate, and get to a point to where we are comfortable with the people in law enforcement and who's employed by law enforcement, and get to a point to where we can trust law enforcement, I guess you could say, without having to think that they are there to do us harm or do us no good. How do we get to that point as a people, as a black people, and as a black culture? And how do we breed that success to be generational? And another question I have is, how do we get it to where a lot of that success is bred into putting that back into our own communities, and putting that back into our own schools and our own universities, and hopefully back into our own workforce? How do we do that? What are your thoughts on how do we get from where we are now, which is not that bad of a position, but we could definitely do a lot better than what we're doing right now, as a whole, as a people, and personally as myself. So this has been Thoughts on the Lake. I really hope that I hit all the points that I was trying to hit, and really spoke to the people that I'm trying to speak to, and hopefully you guys give me some good answers on what are your thoughts on this situation, and what are your thoughts on these types of things. And am I wrong for thinking the way that I think? Am I wrong for wanting that type of environment? Am I wrong for wanting that type of community. Just let me know what your thoughts are. Give me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.